All right, today we're headed out onto the wild, windswept moors of northern England. We're going to deconstruct one of the most intense, brutal, and honestly, game-changing novels ever written, Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights. You know, when this thing first came out, it absolutely shocked people. We're talking psychological cruelty, a hero who's, well, not much of a hero. This story is just impossible to pin down. So let's get into it. Let's dive into this dark and brilliant world together. From the very first page, you're just thrown into this world that is not friendly at all. I mean, this quote, it's one of the first things a visitor, this guy Lockwood, says. And he's saying it after he's been attacked by a pack of savage dogs inside the house. So yeah, not exactly your welcome to the neighborhood moment, right? It just perfectly sets the stage for the hostility and, frankly, the chaos of this place. So yeah, the obvious question, the one Lockwood is asking and the one we're all asking is just, what is this place? I mean, who are these people? So aggressive, so strange. How did they get like this? Well, that's what this whole explainer is about. We're going on a journey to answer that very question, and we're going to have to peel back some seriously dark layers of history to do it. Okay, so first up, welcome to Wuthering Heights. To really get what's going on here, you have to understand how the story is told, because it's not straightforward at all. It's more like a puzzle where the past is revealed through the eyes of someone who was there for all of it. So here's the setup. This guy, Mr. Lockwood, he's the new tenant next door. He goes to visit his landlord, gets trapped in a massive snowstorm at Wuthering Heights, and has this terrifying, ghostly encounter. He's totally freaked out and just has to know what is going on with this house and these people. So he asks his housekeeper, a woman named Nellie Dean, to spill the beans. And pretty much the entire rest of the novel is her telling him this insane, dark history. It's a classic story within a story. All right, section 2, a love forged in storm. Now we're going back in time, way back with Nellie, to where this whole tragedy kicked off. It starts with 2 kids out on the moors and a connection that was going to change and destroy everything. So the whole story, I mean, the absolute core of it, revolves around 2 people, Catherine Earnshaw and Heathcliff. Catherine's the wild, free-spirited daughter of the house, and Heathcliff, he's this mysterious orphan boy her dad just finds in Liverpool and brings home. From the get-go, these 2 are inseparable. They're not just friends, it's something way deeper, almost elemental, like they're 2 halves of the same soul running wild on the moors. But then, the dad dies. And Catherine's brother, Hindley, who hates Heathcliff, starts abusing him horribly. This is what begins to twist Heathcliff, hardening him, and setting this whole tragedy in motion. And this is where we get to the central conflict of the whole book, and it's laid out perfectly in these 2 houses. They're like 2 different fates. On one hand, you've got Wuthering Heights. It's all about nature, passion, chaos. It's where Catherine and Heathcliff grew up, on those stormy wild moors. But then, just down the road, you have Thrushcross Grange. This place is the total opposite. It's culture, order, civilization. It's home to the Lintons, and it represents everything proper society tells Catherine she should want. She's literally caught between these 2 worlds. And right here, this is the decision that dooms everybody. She's tempted by that life of a lady, the status, the comfort of Thrushcross Grange. So even with this soul-deep connection she has with Heathcliff, she agrees to marry Edgar Linton. She convinces herself it's the proper choice, the smart move to secure her place in society. But deep down, she knows it's a massive betrayal of who she really is. I mean, look at what she says here. She's basically saying her love for Heathcliff is in her soul. She's admitting flat out, I'm convinced I'm wrong. This isn't just a tough decision. For Catherine, this is a full-blown spiritual crisis. She's tearing her own soul apart. A choice with consequences. That's an understatement. The fallout from this is immediate, and it's catastrophic. The worst part, Heathcliff overhears her talking. He hears her say it would degrade her to marry him, but he leaves before he can hear her say that he's a part of her soul. And that's it. He feels completely betrayed, and he just vanishes, disappears into the night for 3 years. Okay, section 3, the Great Revenge. Because when Heathcliff comes back, he is not the same person. The boy is gone. In his place is a wealthy, polished gentleman who is driven by one thing and one thing only, payback. And Heathcliff's revenge is not some quick, angry outburst. Oh no, it's a cold, calculated, long-term plan to destroy everyone. So he comes back 3 years later, rich and looking like a gentleman. What's his first move? He elopes with Isabella Linton, Edgar's sister, just to spite him and cause pain. Then he goes after Wuthering Heights itself, taking advantage of Hindley's drinking problem to get the deed to the house. And maybe the cruelest part of his whole plan, he starts degrading Hindley's own son, Harrington, turning him into an uneducated servant. It's pure psychological torture. And all of this spirals until Catherine dies, which just pours gasoline on the fire of his rage. But even when he's at his most monstrous, you never forget why he's doing it. It's all fueled by the incredible pain of losing Catherine. He literally begs her ghost to haunt him. He'd rather be driven mad by her spirit than live in a world without her. So you see, his revenge isn't just simple hatred. It's what happens when a love that big, that all-consuming, gets broken and turns toxic.
And the story doesn't stop there. This is Section 4, Echoes of the Past, because Heathcliff's revenge, well, it has collateral damage. The poison seeps down into the next generation, into kids who are basically born into this war.
And you can see how history is literally repeating itself, like an echo. You've got the originals, and then you have their echoes in the next generation. First, there's Catherine's daughter, also named Cathy. She's got that wild Earnshaw spirit, but it's tempered with the Linton kindness. And then you have Harrington. He's the echo of a young Heathcliff, an outcast, kept uneducated and rough on purpose. But unlike Heathcliff, there's a real goodness in him, just buried deep down. Heathcliff is not done yet. His final masterstroke of revenge is to control the kids. He forces a marriage between his own weak, sickly son, Linton, and young Cathy. This isn't about love or happiness. It's a cold, hard business move. He knows that once Edgar and his own son are dead, this marriage gives him legal ownership of everything, both Wuthering Heights and Thrushcross Grange. He's literally using children as pawns to win a war against people who are already dead. So after all that darkness, all that hate, the story finally starts to turn. This is our last section, breaking the cycle. For the first time, we get a little glimmer of hope that maybe, just maybe, this curse can be broken. And at first, the relationship between young Cathy and Harrington, it goes exactly how you'd think it would. She's been raised as a proper lady, and she's just disgusted by this rough, uneducated cousin of hers. I mean, she openly laughs at him, mocks him for not being able to read. It's the same old story, right? The same class and culture clash that started this whole mess. Which leads us to the big question for the end of the book. After so much hatred, can the cycle ever be broken? I mean, is the poison just too deep? Is Wuthering Heights just permanently cursed? Or is there a way out? And then, something amazing happens. Despite all her scorn, Cathy starts to feel guilty. And in this quiet little act of rebellion against Heathcliff's whole system, she secretly starts teaching Harrington how to read. And this one small act of kindness, of sharing knowledge, it's the thing that starts to bridge the gap. It's the beginning of the healing process for decades of pain. And Melly Dean just nails it with this quote. From that moment on, the enemies were thenceforth sworn allies. It's that simple. These two people, who were engineered by Heathcliff to hate each other, become a team. Their love isn't just a romance. It's the healing of the two families. It's the passion of Wuthering Heights finally combined with the kindness of Thrushcross Grange. So what does this do to Heathcliff? Well, seeing Cathy and Harrington together, it finally breaks him. He looks at them, and in Harrington's face, he sees Catherine's eyes staring back at him. And that single look just undoes everything. His whole life's work, all that revenge, suddenly means nothing. He just gives up. He stops eating, starts wandering the moors, haunted by visions of Catherine, and then he's found dead in her old room, completely at peace, finally reunited with her in his own mind. And with Heathcliff gone, it's like a storm that's been raging for decades finally breaks. Peace returns to Wuthering Heights. The ghosts are gone, the hatred is gone, and there's finally a chance for a new, happy beginning. So in the end, what do you make of it all? Is Wuthering Heights a story of destructive passion, a warning about how revenge can just poison everything? Or is it actually about a love so powerful, so immense, that it transcends everything, society, class, even death itself? And the incredible thing about this novel is it's both, and that's what we're left to think about.